Welcome to NOLA Motorsports Park, as this is the finale for the Formula Regional Americas Championship, powered by Honda for the weekend. Hi, I'm John Fippin, speaking to you from the commentary booth overlooking this beautiful racetrack, and we're getting ready to send these drivers out for the, I said Formula Regional Americas. Let's start that all over again. Hi, everybody. I'm John Fippin, talking to you from NOLA Motorsports Park as the the brand new Ligier JS F4 Series is about to have its final race of the weekend. We've had two exciting races for these drivers coming up into this weekend, and this is a great opportunity for these drivers to shall we say, strut their stuff here in front of the crowd. I'm joined in the commentary booth by Landan Matriano Lim. Landan is a driver in the Formula Regional Americas Series, and Landan, you've had a challenging weekend so far, but
Absolutely.
You got one more race to go.
Yes, definitely not the way we wanted to go for a home race, but we've got ourselves in a better position than we've been in all weekend for the final race of the weekend. And we'll be starting P7, so best starting position yet.
Yep.
And looking to get all the bad out of the way in those first two races. Like I said, not how we wanted it to go, but we are working on it.
Exactly right. And these cars are on their way out behind the safety car on their formation lap. Let's introduce the 13 car starting grid, as we have one car missing because they weren't able to make some repairs. Starting alone in row 7 is the number 1 of Jake Pollock out of San Antonio, Texas, for Jensen. On the outside of row 6, the 49 of Harbor Das out of Solon, Ohio, for Berg DMG Racing. Next to him is the number 24 of the Australian, one of two Australians in the field, Daniel Quimby out of Sydney, Australia. Daniel drives for the Atlantic Racing Team. In row 5 on the outside, car number 2, Parker Wallen. He shared the commentary booth with me yesterday from Medina, Minnesota for Jensen. Next to him, the 72 of Jacob Lauter out of Edmond, Oklahoma for the IGY6 Motorsports Team. In row 4 on the outside, car 28 is Drew Such out of St. Charles, Illinois for Such Racing. Next to him, the other Australian, the number 95 of Brad Majman out of Caulfield, South Australia for Crosslink Kiwi. In row 3, car number 44 is Pablo Benites Jr. out of Port Orange, Florida. Although Pablo makes his home in Santiago, that's Nicholas. Anyway, Pablo is the son of the team principal at Scuderia Buell, Pablo Benitez Sr. Next to him, the 83 of Christopher Parrish, the other driver from IGY6. He makes his home in Terrell, Texas. In row number 2 on the outside, the 25 of Teddy Musella, a winner already this weekend out of Orlando, Florida for Scuderia Buell. Next to him, the 45 of Bacon Zelenka. He's been on the podium once already this weekend as well for Crosslink Kiwi. On the front row, car 29, Kekai Hauanio broke through for a win in the last round. Hauanio out of Plant City, Florida for Crosslink Kiwi, and your pole sitter. She shared the commentary booth with me earlier today, the number 6 of Maite Caceres from Miami, Florida. She is also from Punta del Este in Uruguay. But Maite takes the pole position on the strength of the fastest lap turned in the last race. And she has been on the podium twice, and she's being celebrated this weekend. She's the first female driver to finish on the podium in one of our races since we started in 2016. So we are expecting big things out of Maite. And she almost had her first win in the race yesterday, but had a mistake on the penultimate lap that cost her that opportunity. But she's starting from the front, so we'll see how that's going to shake out as they work their way around behind the new Janetta safety car. James Rogerson at the wheel. As you can see, the car is working through the final turn, the Mission Foods turn 16, as the driver's still doing a little weaving, getting temperature into these tires. Landan, this is a new tire compound this year. As we're going to do a second pace lap, it appears. This is a new tire compound this year, and it's a little softer than the compound it replaces. Has that been a challenge for you guys?
So I didn't get too much experience on the tire prior,
yeah,
but it definitely has made a big change, and I've heard from some of the drivers in the rest of the field that have been doing this and got used to the old tire. They're having a lot of problems with tire wear throughout just the one race.
Yeah.
So it's huge strategy-wise. There's a lot more importance going on there. And as well throughout the race, you have to make sure you save those tires. You're very consistent and smooth in your laps. You don't want to shred them at the start.
Yep.
So it makes every bit of driving more important.
Yeah, obviously you're making the step up from the F4 car to the Formula Regional Americas car. The reason for the second safety lap is we've got a slow car at the back of the field. So one of the teams having a problem that appears to be.
Is it the number 40?
40, I think, although we don't have a 49 maybe. That might be Harbor Das. We'll sort it out. So that's the reason for the second lap behind the safety car before we line up for the Formula One style standing start. The field up in turn number 6 right now.
It does seem that the car made it all the way into the pits. So it might be the start this time by.
That's a good thing. Hopefully we'll be able to get the start going this time. After 2 rounds of competition, the second race just went final early this morning. Teddy Musella is the points leader for Scuderia Buell, as he has a win and a second place so far in the competition. Maite Caceres, the Uruguayan for International Motorsport, is second in the points. She's also a 2-time podium finisher. Bacon Zelenka, on the strength of a 3rd and 4th, is 3rd in the points championship for Crosslink Kiwi. And his teammate Kekai Hauanio in the 29 is currently 4th. 5th is Brad Majman, also for Crosslink Kiwi. Christopher Parrish, Pablo Benites Jr., Drew Such, Jacob Lauter, Parker Wallen, and Jake Pollock are the remaining drivers that have scored so far in this 2-race season.
And it seems that the safety car has pulled off the track with another car going into the pits.
Yeah, so it looks like we have 2 cars who may be in trouble. We'll sort it out as they come through and begin to get set up here on the front straightaway. This is a brand new race series, the Ligier JS F4 Series. This is an opportunity for the first generation F4 car, which has served us well since the series began in 2016, to have some additional life. Tony Perella from PMH Motorsports Holdings decided to make this offering to drivers now as young as 14 years of age, which is under the minimum for the FIA-sanctioned F4 Championship, which will debut at our next race meeting at Road America in about a month's time. And the field is set, waiting for the light sequence to begin. 5 red lights lighting up in 1-second intervals, and then a random amount of time expires, and the lights go out. Good shot. Grid is set. Those 2 green lights indicate that we're good to go. Here come the lights. The revs come up on these power plants, and we are away. Maite Caceres immediately across in front of the 29 of Kekai Hauanio, and lining up right behind them is Bacon Zelenka. Now Hauanio dives to the inside. Maite is going to try to hang with him on the outside as they go through turn number 1, 2 abreast. Hauanio with a nose in front, but Maite is right there. Bacon Zelenka in 3rd as they work their way out of turn 2 down into turn 3, the first of 2 180-degree horseshoe turns back to back here. Maite hanging on, but a good start for the 25 of Teddy Musella, already a winner and a podium finisher in the second race this weekend, and Teddy moves up into 2nd. So Maite finds herself dropped back to 3rd. She's got plenty of time to go, so we'll see how that sorts out. Oh, Maite tries to make a repass there at turn number 5, but thinks better of it. Falls back in single file. Lots of racing left to go for Maite Caceres, the youngster from Punta del Este, Uruguay, as she holds off the field. As getting away at the front is Kekai Hauanio. Kekai had a not the best race the first round of racing, as he had problems and did not score points in the first round, but came back with a vengeance in race number 2, taking the win. So we'll see how he can hold up as we continue. There is the 83 car of Christopher Parrish just behind Bacon Zelenka. Christopher Parrish from the local IGY6 team. currently in the 5th position, then a little bit of a gap behind him to Brad Mojman in the 95 as they make their way through the Mission Foods turn 16 and on to the front straightaway to complete the first racing lap, and we made it all the way through the first lap. Yay! Good way to get started. See some 3-wide racing there at the back. Jake Pollock, Jacob Lauter, and Pablo Benites down to the inside. You can see the 24 car of Daniel Quimby trying to make a move on his countryman, the 95 of Brad Mojman, as the 2 Australians duking it out. That would be for 6th and 7th. Good look at the 28 car of Drew Such. Drew's had points in a couple races so far this weekend, so a good start for that single car team in this brand new championship. It does look like Pablo Benites Jr. has been able to work his way around those top 2 cars, so Benites now up into the points paying positions in 10th. Teddy Musella sets the fastest lap of the race from 2nd position with a 1:48.874 on race lap number 1. Good look at the 24 of Daniel Quimby. The Australian karter making the move into open wheels last year. He did a partial season, started in the F4 championship, and then moved up to FR about halfway through with a team change. And Daniel's looking strong here. Just in front of Teddy Musella in that red number 25 for Scuderia Buell. Quimby part of the...
There's a lot of pressure on first.
Yeah,
on that battle for first now, so everything's going real hard. It seems like there's a lot of action on that first lap with Christopher Parrish as well, dropping wheels off on the main straight and coming out of turn 4. So interesting to see how his start's been going. And there you go, side by side into turn 1, the 2 leaders. So we'll have to see who comes out on top here. This will be very interesting. There might be a change of the lead. Yeah, Teddy Musella is going to try to ride it around the outside. Took the long way around at turn 1 and makes it stick. So Teddy Musella retakes the lead. He's a winner already this weekend, as is Kekai Hauanio, the 2nd place runner. So those 2 duking it out at the front. Maite Caceres there in the 3rd spot, just biding her time, making it ready. Landon, we were talking in the pre-race off mic about this new tire compound that Hankook has brought to the series this season for both championships. It's a little softer than the compound we used before, and that makes this 3rd race really critical for these drivers, because you got to manage how you're going to allocate those 2 sets of tires that you've got to work with all weekend long. Absolutely. I saw a bunch of drivers on the previous race were going all 4 news. So I don't think anyone has any new sets left for this last race, so it should be very, very interesting. Yeah, so, you know, you might start out strong with a used set, but then they start going away as the race wears on. We stayed green all the way through, and that's exactly what we want to see with 25 minutes of racing left to go. Both of our classes of racing here this weekend, the Formula Regional Americas class, which of course Landan races in, and the new Ligier JS F4 Series, have been blotched a bit, but we've had some red flags and lots of time behind the safety car. But we are looking to put that right here in this final race of the weekend. Teddy Musella trying to stretch his lead over Kekai Hauanio. Maite Caceres, they've pulled away just a bit from Christopher Parrish, with Bacon Zelenka just behind him. Then the 24 of Daniel Quimby. And then right behind Quimby, a bit of a squabble. Pablo Benites continues his charge. As there's the 95 of Brad Mojman, then Drew Such, then Parker Wallen, with Benites getting around Wallen just as they made the run off of Mission Foods turn 16. As we watch Drew Such in that single car team, and there goes Pablo Benites getting around Such. Such is going to try to do the over-under here at the exit of turn 3, but Benites has just a little too much momentum, and he'll be able to solidify his hold on that spot. Benites started in 6th position and dropped back at the start, and now he's gradually working his way forward. As we watch Maite Caceres, the 3rd place runner. Seems like she's got quite the pace. She seems to be catching Kekai. Yeah. So it's very interesting to see the lead stretch away. I was wondering if they were going to battle a bit and give the third place a better chance to catch up.
Yeah, yeah. These three clearly the class of the field as they've opened up a gap over fourth place running Christopher Parrish. At the line, it was about 2 seconds. The top three are pretty much evenly spaced, about 3/4 of a second first to second and about half a second second to third. So Maite Caceres maybe biding her time here, trying to preserve the tires. She was very strong late in the race yesterday and actually, like I said, overtook the then leader, which was Kekai Hauanio, overtook him on the penultimate lap and looked to be on her way to her first victory, but made a slight mistake down at turn 16 and fell back to third. As this battle between Bacon Zelenka and the 83 of Christopher Parrish is a dandy, as is the intramural squabble between the two Australians, Daniel Quimby and Brad Majman. We stick with that battle. That's for 6th and 7th. Again, the top 10 score points. There are no points for leading the most laps or qualifying on the pole. It's strictly finishing order, and we use the FIA standard point system with 25 for the win, 18 for second, 15 for third, all the way down to a single point for 10th place. Bacon Zelenka.
Can really see him working at the wheel.
Yeah,
working those tires. I wonder if they're starting to fall off any.
I'm thinking so. We're only working on race lap number 5 here. And again, these tires are going to be the oldest of the weekend. Certainly, I can't imagine anybody saved a new set for this race, so everybody's on old tires. It's just a question of how much life is left in these Hankook tires. The Hankooks heretofore have had a slightly more conservative tire compound, and you know, there was still plenty of tire strategy, especially for a race weekend, as most of our weekends are. But with this softer compound, it makes it a little more of a challenge, and the drivers have to be on their toes to extract the most of it as those tires begin to go away. It's been really gratifying to see the success that the IGY6 team has had here this weekend. They started out years ago as a single car team with just Hayden Bowlesby driving for his father's team, and they've gradually added cars in the FR Series as well as in the F4 Championship. And it's great to see that locally based team in Folsom, Louisiana, beginning to pay benefits. Hayden Bowlesby finished on the podium in the last race. Daniel Quimby, the Australian, a real karting phenom. He's got a bit of a star in the karting ranks in his Australian homeland. Bacon Zelenka moving on as now a teammate with you on the Crosslink Kiwi stable. He was in a single car team, a self-funded team a year ago, just as you were. And we already talked about the advantages you have to be with a big team like Crosslink Kiwi. They've got, I think, 13 cars here this weekend between the two championships. That's got to pay big benefits. Yeah,
we've been running a lot, and it's really good to be with such a big team to see not only the data references we get, but all of the video, everything we have detail, not just from yourself. Mm-hmm. You're bettering yourself, but it's always good to see the top runners.
Sure.
And we're up there with the top runners on our team, so it's really good learning developmentally, and that's exactly where I'm at, is developing. So it couldn't be better with this team.
Yeah, exactly right. And obviously the engineering support is unparalleled. They've won team championships for many, many years, and so clearly some of the best engineering minds in the sport on that team. So, I mean, since the cars are all equal, it's down to the skill of the driver and the skill of the team to extract the most out of this combination that you've got to work with. Kekai staying right with Teddy Musella. In fact, he's closed the gap down to under a second. It's about 0.8 at the line this time by. The closest battle on the racetrack is the one between Christopher Parrish and Bacon Zelenka. But a little further back, Pablo Benites continues his charge toward the front. He's only half a second behind Brad Majman now, as Majman has fallen off the battle with his countryman Daniel Quimby by just about a second and a half. So Benites is the mover here.
It does seem like there's a couple of good battles out there, and there's a lot of switching back, and I see a lot of defensive moves, especially from Christopher Parrish and Bacon Zelenka going at it for that fourth place. So there's still plenty of action with this back crowd here, and it does seem that the top three have spaced out quite a bit. But pace will change throughout the throughout the race, there's no doubt about that, as the tires do.
Great to see these beautiful drone shots as we see the Christopher Parrish, Bacon, Zelenka, and Daniel Quimby battle. And then right behind them, Majman and Benites. Benites in the red car, the second of the two. You can see that Maite falling off the pace just a little bit in third with Kekai and Teddy Musella. Teddy Musella, the youngest driver in the field. He is 14 years of age. And kicked off his campaign with a bang, with a win in his first race. And backed that up with a good finish in race number 2 as well, on the podium twice now. As we see the leaders cross the line to complete race lap number 7. And then we turn our attention back to this battle with Christopher Parrish. It's now a three-way battle as Daniel Quimby has caught up to the back of Bacon Zelenka. And then the two-way battle we talked about behind them between Majman and Benites.
They're going to go side by side around turn 2, so that might give Quimby the opportunity if both of these guys don't get a good exit coming out of 3.
Indeed, as Bacon trying to make the move.
And they both go wide coming out of 3, and just like that, it is Quimby ahead. But Bacon does have the inside line for turn 4, so can he make it work? And he does.
That's a carbon copy. That's a carbon copy of the move that Patrick Woodstoth made in your race. He did it at that same corner as the guys were battling side by side. He was third in line and managed to get himself to the front. He was able to stretch away and take the victory from there.
Absolutely, and it looks like it was Parrish that did lose out there completely, losing both positions. That is the trouble with battling. You have to pick your fights. You have to pick when to do it. Yep. And when there's a faster guy catching up to you after battling for a couple laps, you guys need to work together and get away from him first.
And Christopher Parrish is battling right back as he is all over the back of Daniel Quimby. See if he can retake that position. But he's lost just a little bit of momentum through the S's, perhaps a little too aggressive in the early part.
Oh, it looks like there's a spinner, and it is Bacon Zelenka.
Yeah, Bacon goes around in the 45 car, spinning out of that 5th spot. But he gets it back under his own power, so that's good to see. Meanwhile, back at the front with all of this shuffling behind us, Musella and Hauanio continue to lead 1 and 2. Maite Caceres still within striking distance, 1.4. But a great race there between Daniel Quimby. Christopher Parrish now back up into 5th spot. Brad Majman and Pablo Benites inheriting 6th and 7th after the 95 of Brad Majman.
And it seems like they're actually catching Christopher Parrish for Majman, and who is it in that battle?
Got a replay of Bacon Zelenka going around, and there he is. You can see Bacon coming out of the S's, heading toward turn 13, and clips a little too much curb, and around it goes. Just as he got that done, but fortunately he was able to get the car refired. That's all good. The battle at the front is a dandy. Kekai Hauanio now the aggressor, as Teddy Musella looks like he may be struggling a bit on his tires. And look at Maite Caceres. She has caught up with this group. It's a three-way battle at the front.
This is exactly what they needed. It seems like there's also a three-way battle going around turn 14 carousel. I believe that's the fight for 5th and 6th.
5th, 6th, and 7th. Yeah, exactly
yes.
Right.
Looks like coming across the line, Kekai Hauanio does have the draft.
We'll see if Hauanio can pop to the inside. He's going to try to go around the outside. Majman looking in his mirrors to see where he is. Maite is right there to pick up the pieces if these two come together. Majman goes just a little wide at the exit of turn 2 as they make the run down toward turn number 3. Musella with the advantage. Oh, he gets a little squirrely under braking. Definitely grip going away from that lead car, the 25. Hauanio a little better line through turn 3, now into turn 4. And there goes Maite. just as I was bragging on Hauanio, he goes wide, and Maite's able to take that spot. Hauanio's going to try to fight back. Maite's going to crowd him just a little bit, but then gives him racing room. They're side by side through turn number 5. Maite's a little wide. Now they come into turn 6, a very tricky turn. And she does the mature thing. She backs out of the throttle. She could have forced it there and could have potentially taken them both out.
Absolutely. So she did what she needed to do there to pull back behind him and not mess up both of their runs all through the S's and let the leader get away.
Yeah, we're just barely past half distance. So she realizes, as all of these drivers should, we've got a lot of racing left to go. So survive to take another day here, as it were, as they work their way through the S's down toward turn 13. That sharp 90-degree right-hander leads into this combination of 14, 15, 16, which leads onto the longest straightaway. We'll get a replay on that overtake, as there is our leader, Teddy Musella. And there goes Kekai going wide, but he keeps the momentum up in that car. Maite tried to encourage him to stay where he was, but Kekai stuffed it down in there. That was a pretty aggressive move on his part. Maite had to go wide to avoid, but they both did a good job at keeping the car on the racetrack. But I definitely think Kekai may be struggling a bit. Here goes Maite. She's going to try to take that pass back as she goes side by side down into turn 3 on this lap. She's going to try to hang in there.
Oh, and
there was a little contact. Yeah, a little wheel-to-wheel contact. I won't play race director. We'll let the stewards sort that one out, but that is not exactly what we like to see. But they both survived it.
They did. We'll just have to see if there's now a puncture, because that is exactly what happened to me in those other races. So we'll have to see how that goes for these guys later on in the lap, if there's a significant drop in the pace. And we're back to the battle of 6th and 7th still going on.
Brad Mosman and Pablo Benites. Benites has just not been able to find. Oh, he's got that side pod loose again. That's been a problem for the 44 car of Benites. In the first race, he had side-to-side contact with another car, and the side pod got damaged, and the radiator came loose from its moorings, and that's happened again. This happened to him. Yeah, this happened to him again. That's the exact same thing.
Same thing yesterday in yesterday's race, so we'll have to see. Matchman has to defend going into that corner, and will he get a run? He will not.
Yeah, that is certainly not going to be a good thing. It's going to be tough for Benites to finish this one, because if that radiator comes loose, obviously the coolant's out of the engine and his day is done. But to say nothing of the aerodynamic disadvantage of that big radiator flopping out to the outside, and there's some body damage on, is that Christopher Parrish?
It looks like Christopher Parrish has either his side pod or his engine cover coming off right now off the top of it.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah,
let's hope that does not come off and come into one of these other cars.
Yeah, that engine cover has come loose. Exactly right. As it's come loose on the right-hand side and is now flopping in the breeze. As, Pablo is off the pace here in the 44 car. I think he is probably seeing some overheating, because obviously with that radiator out the way it is, it's not ducted properly. And, unfortunately it's not.
And there goes the engine cover of Christopher Parrish in turn 3.
Yeah, that pops off the car, and he'll be able to run with that gone, but that piece of debris, the corner stations will show the debris flag to the drivers to let them know that there's some debris on the racetrack. And if it's deemed to be in a hazardous position, we may go full course yellow here. That'll be a decision by our race director, Scott Goodyear. But the 28 of Drew Such now, with Bacon Zelenka behind him. Bacon in recovery mode after that unforced error down into turn 13.
Pablo Benites as well has fallen significantly off the pace. He's getting out of everyone's way and making sure to get that car back to the grid.
Mosman now up into 6th position, as he has gotten the pass done on Christopher Parrish. Parrish had that 5th spot coming into this last lap, as Bacon Zelenka chasing Drew Such now in the battle for 8th. Bacon's been in the top 4 in both races so far, but he has dropped back to 9th, but is in a pretty good recovery mode here. Mosman all by himself in 5th. Drew Such now coming under pressure. I think Such's tires are going away in the 28 car, so Bacon is in a position to try to make the move. He pops to the inside at turn 1. Pretty classic overtaking maneuver. Such tries to stay there. Bacon does a good job of avoiding contact into turn number 2. We'll see what he can do here at turn 3 as they come down into that third turn. Bacon's going to try to go around the outside. That'll set him up well for turn 4. But Drew drifts a little bit wide. Bacon's going to try to stuff it in there at turn 4, and he does. And Drew does a good job of conceding the corner because I think he saw it's kind of inevitable as his grip seems to be going away just a bit. So Bacon Zelenka picks up another spot up into 6th now. We haven't talked much about Parker Wallen in the 2 car for Jensen. He's just behind this battle in 8th spot. And his teammate Jake Pollock in 9th. Christopher Parrish with the missing engine cover still in the points, holding on to 10th. Here's the battle at the front as Teddy Musella trying to hold off Kekai Hauanio. Maite Caceres is backed off once again just to let these two battle it out a bit, but she is right there to pounce.
That is absolutely the best way to go for her situation right now. Just like it did before, she could most easily overtake these two as they battle side by side, make sure she gets a good exit, and there's first.
Across the line they come. As we've completed 13 racing laps, we've got about 7 minutes of racing left to go. There goes Hauanio down to the inside. Going to try to make the pass into turn 1 and does. So Teddy Musella has to give up that first spot. Maite right there behind Musella as they work their way down to turn 3. Kekai making that car wide as Musella thought about going to the inside. Now he's going to try to go around the outside. There goes Maite. She might get them both again. That's a very popular move here. Side by side, Kekai will have the inside line. Maite's going to try to follow him through as Teddy Musella has to give way. And so Kekai Hauanio takes the lead for the first time.
Right as the caution comes out, so we'll have to see where that caution was and what's happening here.
Yeah, so far we don't know why, as Teddy Musella takes that spot back, and it may be that Kekai got a radio message that he has to give that spot back because the yellow had come out. If you pass under the yellow, obviously it has to be reversed. So the safety car pulling out of pit lane, going to pick up the field for the first time. Good bit of, we've had 23 minutes of good, clean racing. Plenty of action on the racetrack, but there's Pablo Benites' wounded machine with that side pod popping loose again. And unfortunately that allows the radiator to flop loose, and I'm sure that car was overheating, and that's the reason he had to bring it into the paddock.
Oh, absolutely, and that's nothing you want to mess with because that's the easiest way to destroy the engine, and that's the last thing you want to replace on the weekend.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. So we'll catch our breath here just a bit as the leaders working their way onto the straightaway. We'll get everybody past start finish, and we can recap the running order as we await the resolution of the reason for the safety car. We can see one of the safety vehicles on the way toward turn 4 to pick up the stranded car. Teddy Musella is your leader. Kekai Hauanio and Maite Caceres second and third. Let's take a quick break while we have this safety car period to thank the sponsors that make the broadcast possible here on Speed Tour TV.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
The Sonoma Speed Tour returns to Sonoma Raceway April 19th through the 21st, featuring the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli Western Championship, the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, Historic Trans Am, the Toyo Tire 2.5 Challenge, PSSA, International GT, and Saturday you can take part in the Hagerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show. You do not want to miss the Sonoma Speed Tour April 19th through the 21st. For tickets, simply go to speedtour.net.
Welcome back to NOLA Motorsports Park, and we're setting up for an exciting conclusion of this one as we've had a late safety car period. We understand we had a stranded car down at turn number 4. I can see the safety car coming, or the track vehicle coming back counter race. So it looks like the incident has been cleared, and yes, the lights are out on the safety car. We're going to go green this time by. It's going to be about a 3-minute shootout, so probably 2 laps. Teddy Musella, Kekai Hauanio, Maite Caceres, Daniel Quimby up to 4th, Brad Majman 5th, as the 2 Australians continue their intramural battle. Bacon Zelenka in recovery mode up into 6th spot. Drew Such, Parker Wallen, Jake Pollock, and Christopher Parrish in the points. Here we go.
On this huge move on the restart from Brad Majman, diving in, joining in the battle for 3rd place. But 1st and 2nd go side by side into turn 1 once again.
Daniel Quimby battling with with Maite Caceres for 3rd. Meanwhile, the battle at the front between Teddy Musella and Kekai Hauanio picks up right where it left off.
It seemed like Quimby might have had some damage on that front wing. We'll have to see as he comes back around on the next shot. And it seems like there's a lot of cars going wide, so there's some moves being made. And the battle for lead, it does come out of turn 4 with Musella on top.
And now Majman gets the move done as he moves around Quimby, and he's right on the tail of Maite Caceres up in front. The battle for the lead continues as Hauanio goes a little bit wide there at turn 6. Oh, they come through turn number 7, making the run.
I cannot believe they came through there with no contact.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Great bit of driving for both of these drivers. Here comes Hauanio getting a run as they come into the S's. He'll have a nose ahead as they come through turn number 9. Now into 10, Musella retakes the advantage. There's Caceres right on their tail. And not too far back is Brad Majman in the 95. Then Daniel Quimby, then Bacon Zelenka. As we've got a 6-car train here coming to the white flag, I'm guessing. I don't see the starter displaying it just yet. But with about a minute and a half left, we should see the white flag this time by. They're down in Mission Foods turn 16.
There is damage on Quimby's nose. It seems like that wing is barely hanging on, and he's dropping a lot of places fast.
Yeah, in an earlier race, he climbed up the back of another car coming to a restart and knocked the front wing off. So here we go. Hauanio going to try to go around the outside. You can see Teddy Musella checking his mirrors. He's going to try to force him to go the long way around. Into the first turn they go. No change. Maite Caceres right there to challenge. Brad Majman not that far back. Teddy Musella, you can see his head's on a swivel, checking the mirrors left and right. Where are they? Where are they coming? Maite is going to try to go around the outside of Hauanio. Diving to the inside is Majman.
And
what a great move.
Wide.
He's going to get Hauanio for 2nd, perhaps. Maite battling there for 3rd and 4th. There's Bacon Zelenka, Daniel Quimby. And from out of nowhere, Jake Pollock is part of this battle with Drew Such right there as well. Hauanio with the lead. In front of Maite, but then Majman up into 2nd, it looks like. Car goes wide and drops a little bit of, kicks a little bit of dust up as look at Bacon Zelenka going side by side with Maite Caceres, I believe. Yes, that's it. Maite, unfortunately, dropping back just a bit. But Teddy Musella out in front and stretching his advantage over Majman. It is Musella at the front, then Majman, then Hauanio, then Bacon Zelenka. What a great recovery drive for Bacon. You can see the damaged wing on Daniel Quimby. He's a bit of a rolling chicane right now as they go through 14. He's going to try to hang on to that spot. But Musella looks to be on his way to his 2nd win on the weekend as they make the run toward the checkered flag. Brad Majman up to 2nd. What a great restart he had. He saved some tires for the end. It's going to be Musella, Majman, and Hauanio in that order, with Bacon Zelenka 4th, Daniel Quimby in 5th with the damaged wing, Drew Such across the line in 6th. Maite Caceres unfortunately fell all the way back to 7th. Christopher Parrish in 8th, Jake Pollock in 9th, and Parker Wallen taking 10th. So 9th and 10th for the team from Jensen. Teddy Musella had all sorts of challenges thrown at him from both sides throughout the course of the race. but he managed to have it in front when it counted. Kekai Hauanio will have to be satisfied with a third-place spot, but how about Brad Modgman? He was almost nowhere on the restart, back in 5th and 6th place, but in the final 2 laps, he took it all the way up to 2nd. I think with another lap, he might have had a chance to go for the win.
Absolutely. He was making some moves and watched everyone go wide in turn 3, and that was just the gap that he needed. Right opportunity up the inside, and he was clear of everybody.
Exactly right. We're going to break for lunch at this point, and I'm going to make my way down to the podium to interview our top 3. So we'll say goodbye to the stream for just this brief time, and we will be back with you after the lunch break with the finale of the weekend for the Formula Regional Americas Championship. They'll be on at 2 o'clock. Kekai Hauanio will be my commentator on that weekend. I'll be curious to see his reaction to how this race went.
Absolutely. It'll be great to get input from him, and I will be out there for the finale of the weekend, P7, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Good luck, Landon. Here's your rundown. Teddy Musella, Brad Modgman, Kekai Hauanio on the podium. We'll see you in just a couple hours for the finale of the weekend. I'm John Fippin. Thanks for being with us.
Hungry for SVRA action? Well, the best way to enjoy classic auto racing is with a delicious classic from Mission Foods. Green flag your race-watching snacks with Mission's mouth-watering race day recipes. Try some of our tasty tacos, piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. So gear up your ride and fuel up those stomachs with delicious Mission Foods. Now that's too fast, too tasty.